Hey, how's everybody doing? I wanted to, give my opinion on the Herb Dean, Dan Hardy situation. Um, I guess I'll start with my initial reaction, what I believe I saw on as far as the ending of that fight. What I saw is I saw uh, Francisco. I can't remember his last name. Trinaldo. Yeah, Trinaldo. I saw Trinaldo knock out uh, Herbert. When he landed that left hook, what I saw is Herbert's body shut down. And what I also saw after that is once Trinaldo got close, he waited on a ref. He waited on Herb Dean to save him, and Herb Dean didn't step in there. So his job as the fighter was to keep fighting until the ref calls the fight, or until the round's over. That's what a fighter does, right? That's what I saw. Now, as far as like what Herb Dean believes and whatever, I would say, or as far as Herb Dean and his job goes as a referee, in the moment, Herb Dean was right. In the moment, the reason why I say that is because to him, from his perspective, he's seen a fighter go down, and usually when they see a knockdown happen, the referees come in close and they prepare to potentially stop the fight, but also so they could see if rules as far as when the fight is grounded, they can enforce those rules when the fight's grounded. What Herb Dean, and if you watched his video, he believed Herbert was still defending himself because by the time he got there, he saw a hand. He saw Herbert's left hand, oh, my bad, like posted out towards Trinaldo, and then he seen him turn on his side and chill up. But when he was just covering up and not doing anything, you know, to keep distance or to try to get back to his feet, that's when he stopped. In the moment, Herb Dean was right. In the moment, Dan Hardy was, he was wrong in the moment. But I only say that because, that in that moment that was true. Even though Herb Dean didn't, if you notice where Herb Dean was across the cage, and he was walking, and he was looking at them like this from his left side, facing them as he was walking. So from his angle, yeah, he did see the fighter get knocked down. Obviously, by the time, but what he, like anyone who was watching the broadcast, what we saw is a fighter lose consciousness and then fall down. That's what I saw. That's what I believe I saw. That's also what I believe Hardy and Felder saw, because that's why they were. That's part of why they were like, saying what they were saying, and then that's ultimately what led to Dan saying what he was saying. at the same time, you know, I think the reason why Dan got emotional and stuff is because he was excited in that moment because a knockdown just happened or a knockout. According to him and according to what that's what I think happened. A knockout happened, or what could be ruled as a knockout at that moment. From Herb Dean's perspective, where he was at, all he saw was a knockdown, and he saw a fighter trying to protect himself when he got there. In hindsight, Herb Dean was wrong. He didn't, because he only could see it from, his perspective, which was across the cage. In hindsight, Dan Hardy was right. Ultimately, like, him being emotional and stuff, objectively, that was wrong. But it's natural. I could, I could see how that, you know, why that played out that way. Because he just saw, you know, how many of you, when you saw him drop Herbert, didn't just go, "Oh," that was my reaction when I seen that left hand, when I seen him crumble after that left hand to the temple. And I was on Dan Hardy's side and in that moment because of what I saw. I didn't notice when I first watched it where Herb Dean was, and I wasn't fully objective about the situation. Looking at the situation okay for for from a just seeing where all the parties involved, where they were at. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was just watching a fight, and then I seen a dude pretty much lose consciousness and eat shots that he shouldn't have ate. And you know, as far as Herb Dean's response, I understand it. Where he was coming from, but um, ultimately, because of the hindsight, if he could see it from that perspective, watching the fight, watching it from the angle that we saw that knockout happen, the knockdown, whatever happened from, watching it from that angle, ultimately, I really don't think he should be defending himself. But if he was to admit that in hindsight he was wrong, shoot, I'm all I'm all butterfingers right now. But for him to admit that probably wouldn't do so. Probably wouldn't do him any favors in terms of his career. So um, he's gonna try to justify himself. That way he can still keep his job and whatever um, promotions will still use his services. Uh, but that's what I think. In the moment, Herb Dean was right because of where he was at. In hindsight, he was wrong, and in the moment, Dan Hardy was wrong. In hindsight, he was ultimately trying to do the right thing. What he was doing, the way he did it, was not right, but it was in a human. Just he was in reacting mode. When you see something, when you see someone get knocked out, and just after that, you're also being a former fighter himself and all that. But that's pretty much how I see it. Let me know what you think in the comments below about it. I wanted to make the video yesterday. I just didn't make time. And then, and besides it, I took like a half hour watching the knockdown happen and the aftermath, and then where everybody was at. I didn't pay attention to where Dan Hardy, Paul Felder, and them were at. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below about the situation. And I got predictions coming up. I'm gonna start doing I'm gonna start studying tape, and until next time, we'll see you.